Not so much rain today, it's been fairly dry, so the river level's going down a bit, thankfully. Maybe not too many puddles to splash through tonight. My main concern about my usual 6k route is that one of the roads is closed to traffic, so whether I can get past on foot, I'll find out. I think the first point to mention with regard to the shoes I wear for training is that I do like to mix it up and wear a variety of different shoes. I think just wearing the same pair over and over again, whether it's right or not, I subscribe to the idea that if you do that and then you do end up switching to a new pair at any point, you've kind of become accustomed to one particular type and one way of running, which your shoes can affect, and then you're kind of not attuned to running in a different way, and you start doing the same amount of volume in the new pair, and that can lead to niggles and potentially injuries. So I like to mix it up, wear different types on a kind of random rotation, and then yeah, my feet don't just get attuned to one specific way of running. So that's how I see it anyway. Whether it's right or not, I don't know, but yeah, it seems to be going okay so far. This road closure may be a blessing. Shouldn't be traffic coming past every 2 seconds as soon as I start a sentence. So with all the recent wet weather, don't have much choice but to swap shoes when I've got runs on consecutive days, because it takes the first pair a day or two to dry out before I can wear them again. So I started out running mostly on the trails, and I just used to buy either road to trail or trail shoes, but I do now own 2 pairs of road shoes. One's the Hoka Clifton 8s that I'm wearing today, nice and comfy for steady and easy runs, and the other pair I got just before I did the Macclesfield half marathon, so I could do more speed work and racing them, and that was the Adidas Takumi Sen 8s. So yeah, I've got those for my first speed session of the plan, which is this Friday. Looking forward to that, bit of a pyramid session, so I'll be wearing those for the first time at the end of this week. Then I think I need to give a special mention to my trusty Hoka Torrent 2s, which now have over 1,000 kilometers in them, which are again more of a road to trail shoe, but I can just wear those for anything. I know they'll be comfy, I know they won't hurt my feet, and yeah, there's not a huge amount of cushioning on them, but it's yeah, it's kind of just right for a mixture of everything, as long as I'm not going too far a distance. And then my final pair of Hokas is the Speedgoat 5s. I wore those for my first ultra in May, and at the moment I'm saving those for the longer runs on the trail and hoping that they'll still have enough life left in them for me to do the race in them next year. So just need to make sure I don't put too many miles in them. I think they've done 300 and something kilometers at the moment. They're still doing well. The tread underneath does wear out a little bit when you use them on roads, which I have to do to get to the trails, but they're comfy on road, they're comfy on trails. The grip's okay, not fantastic in very muddy conditions, but I can just about stay on my feet and they're okay for everything else. Now when it does come to really muddy conditions, then the Innovate Mud Claws are the ones I go to. They're fantastic in muddy conditions and in the snow, as I found out recently. So they're not overly cushioned, and I did think that they'd hurt my feet when I first began wearing them. I got pain under my forefoot on my right foot for a while, but I'm not sure it was actually linked to the shoes particularly. So when I've worn them recently, they've been absolutely no trouble, and I just like that security that you get with the big lugs, just knowing that you're not going to slip and fall over or do the splits by mistake. So useful in those conditions. So the ones I've mentioned up to now all have a similar kind of 4 or 5, maybe 6mm drop heel to toe. I do have some Ultra shoes which are 0 drop that I'll wear sometimes just to mix things up. I've got some Timp 2s which were the first ultras I ever bought. I've worn those recently. They're cushioned enough for the road and grippy enough for some trails, but anything wet or slippy, they're pretty terrible really, just like ice skates. But yeah, I dig those out occasionally just to keep mixing things up, try the zero drop periodically, give my calves and Achilles something to think about, strengthen them a bit, and they do get a mention now and again. Then at the other end of the scale, when it comes to heel to toe drop, I've got some Nike Pegasus Trail 36. Again, they're a road to trail shoe. We've got the AirPods in them, so they're fairly comfy on the road and reasonably grippy on mild trails, but again, not good in the mud really, especially given that I've had them a long time now and the tread's starting to wear out. So I do like them. They're comfortable and suitable for most conditions. So they're a 10mm drop, and they're, like I say, the other end of the scale compared to the ultras. Then there's just two other pairs of shoes in the cupboard that may or may not get a look in during the training, unless I really fancy something more minimal. I've got some Ultra Superior 5s, again zero drop, not much cushioning, and about as much grip as the Timps, which is fine as long as it's dry. And then I've got some barefoot shoes, the had to think for a minute there, the Vivo Barefoots, FG2 something. Not worn them for a while or spoken about them. I'll put a picture up for you. But yeah, probably won't be wearing those during the ultra training, because I think they may just be a step too far in terms of shocking the calves and Achilles, so possibly wear them a bit after the race. There we go then, 6 kilometers easy, done. Really pleased with how well it went. Managed to keep the heart rate under control, much more than I anticipated. It was in the kind of low 130s, even high 120s, which I'm guessing might be zone 1. I never even look what zone 1 is usually. So yeah, the only time it started creeping up into the 140s was that final big climb up towards the church. So what I did is just walk the second half of the hill, just so I didn't ruin the good work from the rest of the run. So really pleased with that. My next run is tomorrow. I've got 8k steady and then some strength training, so I'll be back for that. Hopefully you can turn up and watch that one with me, guys. And if you do want to subscribe to the channel, it is free. Just press the button and watch the subscriber count go up by 1. Thanks again, bye.